Good evening, welcome. This is NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi and a warm welcome to Verified. Well, let me straight take you to our top story, the first lead, and the story about Mr. Azam Khan, who has been convicted for a hate speech, ladies and gentlemen. So finally, and while I'm saying this, some people might think that I'm gloating, but finally, a politician has been convicted of hate speech. It's not that I'm celebrating somebody's misery, but it's a much needed step and a reminder to politicians that their inflammatory words would have legal consequences. So this was a case which was filed on instructions of the Supreme Court for a hate speech Mr. Azam Khan made in 2019 in the run-up to the general elections. Azam Khan, though, has secured a bail right after he was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment and also fined for 6,000 rupees. Right after, his sentencing, Azam Khan came out of the court and who's usually at the center of many controversies for the kind of language that he uses, had a very muted reaction today.
उसमें मैंडेटरी जी उस बिना पर भेजता हूँ लेकिन मैं इंसाफ करता हूँ.
Now, what did Azam Khan actually say? Azam Khan was charged for a provocative speech against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Chief Minister Yogi, Adityanath, and IAS officer, then DM of, Rampur, Aruna Kumar Singh. He was, what all did he say about them? I'm not going to read the entire, I don't want to propagate that, but he was accused of, Khan accused Prime Minister of making India unsafe for Muslims. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, only what is there in the FIR. Azam Khan also called Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath a murder convict. He also, in fact, went ahead and accused the DM of Rampur and called him bias. That is what Azam Khan, in fact, went on, and these were the charges which were leveled against Azam Khan. Now, once this sentencing took place, the BJP came out celebrating the verdict against the senior Samajwadi Party leader.
Azam Khan has been convicted for his hate speech for a period of 3 years. Today, SP does not mean Samajwadi Party, it means Sampradayak Party. This is the party that gave the Muzaffarnagar riots. This is the party that has given a series of hate speeches, including hate speeches by Mr. Azam Khan. His speeches against women, his misogynistic language is also well known. Will they take a stand on Samajwadi Party, on Azam Khan, or will they give him a secularism save card and they will defend his hate speech and will justify it with the help of a victimhood card?
Most days I'm just amazed how easy politicians, when they speak about any issue, they don't see within their own party and their own colleagues, but it's easy to attack somebody else. I'll come to that just a little later. But now, after being sentenced for 3 years, Azam Khan is facing a serious problem, a sword hanging over his membership in the Uttar Pradesh State Assembly. The only remedy that Mr. Azam Khan has to appeal in the higher court, get his sentence suspended till the appeal is disposed of, or else he will not only lose his MLA-ship, but also would not be able to fight any elections for about 6 additional years in total. So it will more or less be game over for Azam Khan if he's not able to secure some sort of a suspension from the High Court. Okay, viewers, for a moment, I just want to remind you, because all this is happening, Supreme Court very recently said a few things. Supreme Court had said and made some very important observations as far as hate speeches are concerned. We hear these hate speeches frequently, day in, day out, and especially from our politicians. So what did the Supreme Court say? It was a very tough message. I just want to play this as a reminder. It was Justice K.M. Joseph and Justice Rishikesh Roy. They said, act yourself or face contempt proceeding. This is for the police and the local administration. A very tough message to the governments and the administration the Supreme Court had given as far as this is concerned. The top court also asked the police to submit status quo and the status report on the various probes which are going on against various politicians. The top court had also made an observation: where have we reached in the name of religion? Remember, there are numerous laws. There are election commission guidelines not using religion to in fact seek votes. But are they not selectively implied? Are they not selectively imposed? Are they not selectively used? That's the question on back of what has happened to Mr. Azam Khan I am asking today. The Supreme Court has put the onus of the action on the local police, the local administration, and now comes the moot point as far as this story is concerned. While Azam Khan has been held guilty, what about others? What about so many leaders from the ruling party and other political parties? Recognize the gentleman. He is a member of parliament in the national capital, from the national capital. Parvesh Verma, in Delhi, he made a hate speech. There is a case going on. October 9, 2022, FIR has been filed against the event organizers, not against Mr. Parvesh Verma. And remember, the Supreme Court has very clearly said there has to be action against these people. Suo motu action, don't wait for the courts. Let's move on and tell you about others. He's the INB minister as well, Mr. Anurag Thakur. In January 2020, just before the Delhi riots, police told, in fact, there was case against him. The police told High Court no particular section was targeted, so no cognizable offense, because the law is also vague. It says that if you are promoting enmity between two sections, only then the hate speech law, in fact, comes into practice. But we all remember what he had said. This man is a serial offender. Yati Narsimhanand, he is, a Hindu panchayat activist, calls himself a saint. Very, very sadly, he calls himself a saint. 3 FIRs against him, against the organizers, where he had gone for a Hindu Mahapanchayat. This man is out on bail. And despite being out on bail, he continues. He continues to spew venom every chance that he gets. And this is a series of so many leaders. Sangeet Som of the Bharatiya Janata Party, right after, just before the Muzaffarnagar riots, he had made some very, very controversial speeches. The SIT had given him a clean chit for the inflammatory videos that went viral, that people saw and possibly played their role as far as the rights are concerned. Mohammad Zubair, he is a fact checker. In June 2022, there was in fact a case registered against him. He spent 24 days in jail over a tweet which was deemed to be offensive towards our community. Umar Khalid, who is also in jail since he has, in fact, in February 2020, he was booked under the UAPA. Khalid has been in jail since 2020. Well, there is no, I'm not trying to, sympathize or draw any comparison apart from the fact that anybody who makes these speeches should be behind bars. Sharjil Imam is another gentleman here. In 2019, he was charged with sedition and booked under UAPA. He has spent significant time in jail. There have been other leaders. Asaduddin Owaisi's brother has been so many times called out for his hate speeches. There has been BJP leaders, Kapil Mishra, who was called out for his hate speech. But nothing so far, ladies and gentlemen, especially against those who are from the ruling party. Now, very quickly, what do you think about it? Do you think it is selective, application of law? We asked few of our viewers, and this is what they had to say.
हमारे यहाँ टिप्पणी विभिन्न पार्टियों के लोगों ने दी हैं, खासतौर से भाजपा के लोग जिस तरह की भाषा शैली का इस्तेमाल विपक्ष या विपक्ष की पार्टियों के या लोगों के खिलाफ करते हैं, वो भी अमर्यादित है। तो उन पर कोर्ट फैसला कब लेगी और कब उनको सजा सुनाएगी?
जो हेड स्पीच मामले में सजा हुई है, ये कानून अपना काम कर रहा है, लेकिन उसके अंदर ऐसे मामलों में बीजेपी के बहुत सारे सांसद या नेता भी ऐसी हेड स्पीच करते रहते हैं। अभी हमारे दिल्ली के अंदर धर्म संसद हुई थी, उसके अंदर भी कुछ इसी तरीके की हेड स्पीच हुई थी, लेकिन उसके अंदर भी किसी किस्म की कार्रवाई की कोई कार्रवाई सुनने में नहीं आई। तो ये मुझे लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं सत्ता का दुरुपयोग है।
Even the Janta understands that there is selectivity and double standards. We just need to remind ourselves, hate speeches are a grave threat to our social fabric. And if the law is not implemented equally, because the onus right now, ladies and gentlemen, is on the governments, both at the center and the state, the police, and also on the political parties to crack the whip and stop all hate. All right, let's move on to our second lead this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And this one, of course, after a long, long time has brought a smile to a lot of people. The BCCI has made their first steps as far as level playing field is concerned. In a historic decision, the BCCI Secretary Jai Shah has announced that the match fee for both men in blue, women in blue, fondly our cricketers as they are known, will be equal. It's the first time that it has been announced, a demand for a long time. The decision to bring the women cricketers at par the men cricketers in the way, in fact, in the fee that they get for every match that they play is a decision certainly to, in fact, celebrate. I just want to, give you a sense of how and what it was before and what and how, where it stands today. All right, this is just about the grade, in fact, the contract. So this one we'll discuss also later in the show. But in the grade system, there has been no changes which have been made for grade A+. The men used to get 7 crores, no women as far as this contract system is concerned. If we move on to the second grade, grade A, 5 crore for men, 50 lakh for women. So there is disparity at least still there. Apart from that, if you come to grade B and grade C, you will also then know that there is difference as far as the fee that both men and women get as far as the grading system is concerned. But can I ask my producers to play what has been changed? Like grade B, 3 crores, and for women it's 30 lakh. And for quickly, grade C, if you go on to that, it is 1 crore and 10 lakh. Now, let's very quickly put this aside. This is still something that the BCCI needs to correct. But what about the match fee? That's the big difference that the BCCI has made today. Test match fee, women used to earlier get 4 lakh rupees as against 15 lakh rupees for men for every match. Now, from 4 lakh, their fee has gone up to 15 lakh rupee. Come to ODIs. When we talk about the ODIs, men used to get 6 lakh rupees for playing every match. Women used to get 1 lakh rupee for every match. It has gone up 5 lakh rupees to 6 lakh now for women as well. And for the T20s, ladies and gentlemen, the men get 3 lakh rupees. Women used to get 1 lakh rupee. It is now equal to 3 lakh rupees. That's the great news that we are in fact talking about. So this is something that has been done by the BCCI, and of course, it brought a lot of, in fact, smile and celebrate. The women cricketers came out celebrating it and appreciating the BCCI. So let's just see what the cricket legend, in fact, had to say, and the current India captain. Both of them, meanwhile, came out. Harmanpreet Kaur and cricket legend Mithali Raj, both of them praised the decision by the BCCI. Okay, so while this is being celebrated, just to give you a comparison, to understand the difference in the commercial value between men in blue and women in blue, I've just taken 2 examples. Smriti Mandhana, who in fact is the highest earning women cricketer. Just take a look at her stats. I mean, where does she stand? Her net worth is about 22 crore rupees in 2020. She earns 50 lakh rupees from contracts, and match fee adds about 40 to 50 lakhs. So overall, if you calculate this, this comes around for her 2022 net worth about 22 crore rupees. Just compare it with Virat Kohli, highest earning male cricketer, 950 crores in 2022. He earned 261 crores from endorsements, from ads, and other engagements, and 8.9 crores per post he gets for Instagram. I'm not saying that the commercial value of a male cricketer and women cricketer at this moment is equal, but remember, this has also come at a time when the BCCI is making efforts to bring IPL for women cricketers, and this is going to be a game changer as far as both men and women are concerned. Very quickly, joining me now, and it's a pleasure right now to introduce to you Yastika Bhatia. She is a young cricketer, member of Team India, and a bright future for her ahead. She's just 21 years old. Yastika, I just want to understand and ask from you, as a current playing cricketer, what does this decision, what does it mean for you?
Yeah, it's a very big announcement, and I'm very happy that BCCI and Mr. Jai Shah sir has taken this decision for us, and I would like to thank them for taking this decision, and it's going to be a huge boost for women's cricket in India. I'm very happy that this news has come for us today, and I think it will be a turning point in women's cricket for India.
Okay, but I just want to understand from you, was this something that you guys used to talk about? Kabhi aapas mein all you players used to talk about हमारा पैसा कम है, उनका पैसा ज़्यादा है?
Obviously, we used to think about that, but it was like time will change, and there was hope, and we were looking forward that this day will come soon, and good things are coming our way. Like IPL is there next year, and this day has come where the equal pay has been announced. So things are changing and changing really fast, and that's all just motivates us to do even better and increases our responsibility as cricketers for India.
Do you think that this will have an impact? A lot of parents and especially would think sports may, there is no future, girls, women going into sports, cricketers, there was not as much encouragement. Do you think it will have an impact on the grassroots level that, even a woman cricketer would have a secure future?
Definitely, many changes will take place in the grassroots level, and as we are speaking now, few people might be changing their minds and thinking about going into cricket. So yeah, I really think this is going to bring a lot of changes. Also for the people, for the cricketers who are currently involved in the circuit, they are going to get a stable income, and for their future will be secured. So that's also a really good positive thing.
Tell me honestly, once you heard this news among your teammates in the Indian cricket women cricket team, did you guys was there a celebration, high fives all around?
Yeah, means हमारा तो जो हम लोग बात करते हैं एक दूसरे से व्हाट्सएप पे या से, तो उसमें हम एक दूसरे को कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट कर रहे थे कि चलो भाई बढ़िया हो गया, ये तो अच्छी खबर है, ऐसे करके. तो बस इतना ही बात हुआ है अभी तो.
It's so good to hear that. But there is a disparity in the contract. We were just showing that graphic as well. The contracts are still, there is a much gap between what women get and what men get. Would you hope that that is also rectified soon?
I think it will be done soon, but whatever decision the BCCI takes, I completely trust them, and I think they will do whatever is best for us. And आपका जो प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन था उसमें मुझे एक पॉइंट और याद आया. तब जहाँ पे मम्मी पापा थे तो पहले हमको ऐसे रिकॉग्नाइज होता था कि ये हरीश की बेटी है, गरिमा की बेटी है. अभी ऐसे मम्मी पापा को बोलते हैं कि आस्तिका के पेरेंट्स है.
How sweet is that? I mean, it must be very, your parents must be very, very proud of you. In the end, I just want to ask you, do you think, because in other sports, there are still sports and other fields where there is no pay parity, women athletes in other sports don't get the same treatment, the same money as possibly now you will start getting. Do you think it will send a message there as well?
Yes, definitely a बहुत strong message जाएगा जो BCCI की तरफ से कि दूसरे स्पोर्ट्स भी अपने पे को इक्वल करे, क्योंकि दोनों लड़की लड़कियां अभी एक ही है और इससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि लड़का खेल रहा है लड़की खेल रही है. दोनों के अंदर सेम एंथुसियाज्म, सेम रिस्पेक्ट है गेम के लिए, सेम स्पिरिट है, तो पे भी सेम होना चाहिए.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for being with us, and all the best for your future. Now, while this decision, ladies and gentlemen, deserves applause, it deserves celebration, but the fight for pay parity between women and men, equal pay for equal work, is a long and uphill one. And this report by WEF illustrates it this much better. Just very quickly taking you to so that we are reminded of the actual fact on the ground. The WEF report says that it will take another 132 years to close the global gender gap. It also says that it will, in fact, women earn about 20% on an average less than men as far as various, jobs are concerned. So this is something that needs to be addressed, and we are hoping that this small step from the BCCI will lead to bigger changes. All right, let's move on to my third lead this evening. Meta, the parent company for so many apps that you used, WhatsApp, Facebook, etc., lost $65 billion as market cap in just one day. One big reason for Mark Zuckerberg's big bet, in fact for this loss, was his big bet on metaverse and VR goggles. I mean, what we have been told is that it is losing big money. Reality Labs, its metaverse division, which made a 3.7 billion loss over past 3 months, and it doesn't seem to be over yet. The company has anticipated the loss would grow year over year in 2023, but Mr. Zuckerberg is sticking to his strategy. Meta's value has plummeted as its profits have halved during the third quarter of the year. Though at 27.7 billion, it is still higher than what expert anticipated it, but 52% lower than the previous year. The sales of Meta has shrunk, in fact, by almost 4% compared to the previous year. And the competition from rivals like TikTok, tougher regulations, global economic crisis, is forcing investors and advertisers to, back out as far as this is concerned. Now, very quickly, overnight trading, in fact, has wiped out what Mr. Zuckerberg had to say as far as this entire fiasco is concerned. Because remember, Meta is likely to increase its loss significantly in 2023. So what Mr. Zuckerberg has claimed that there are 13.7 billion people now who are using one of the Meta's app monthly and growing engagement. He also said, try to cut the market sentiment. So what very quickly we'll tell you what Mr. Zuckerberg said. We are leading a work in building next computing platform. He also, in fact, went on and said our work is of historic importance for a new interaction experience. Our products trends better than predictions despite volatile macroeconomy, increasing competition and growing costs. It was just to try and ease, in fact, the problems that Meta and its shares are at this moment feeling. Zuckerberg, who's claimed 13.7, in fact, billion people, he is saying that all this is growing day by day and we are not much worried as far as this entire thing is concerned. But what are the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, for Meta and the kind of reputation loss that it is also facing? What are the biggest problems? Meta's controversies have added to his problems. WhatsApp, biggest global outage. It just happened. Remember, just 2 days back, all of you were not able to not receive any messages. It was the biggest ever global outage as far as WhatsApp is concerned, over 2 hours in many places. It has also got the government of India asking, Meta and WhatsApp, what was the reason? Give us an explanation. Apart from that, Mark Zuckerberg, who's facing questions over Facebook and data misuse, not in just one country, but in many countries. Mr. Zuckerberg has been questioned in Canada, in United States, and that is also leading to a lot of problem as far as Mr. Zuckerberg is concerned. Decline in the user growth, be it Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Facebook alone, if I give you our data, saw its biggest user losses of around 500,000 earlier this year. New privacy settings are also a problem for Meta. It is limiting, Meta as far as Apple iOS is concerned, and stiff competition for online advertising share amid growing, economic crisis. This is also a problem as far as Meta is concerned. Other giants like Google, like Apple, they are staking claim on the online advertisement market, and this is plummeting Meta's share as far as the online markets are concerned, the advertising is concerned. So, at this moment, Meta and Mr. Zuckerberg are facing a lot of issues. All right, that's all the time that I have in this edition of Verified. Thank you so much for being with us. Good night, and the news continues on NDTV.